What's going on, guys? Welcome along to another video. I'm over at DSR and today we have taken out this Kawasaki 1000SX Performance Tourer Edition. I'm going to be trying to answer the question of, is this the best sports tourer for 2023? Let's get some stats and figures out of the way then. Looking at the engine, this is Kawasaki's 1000cc engine, producing 140 brake horsepower with 111 newton meters of torque. As you would expect with your typical inline four, Kawasaki do it really well kind of across the board. Engine is super smooth on this, picks up really nicely. It's just very linear across its power curve, and then the quick shifter on Kawasaki's are absolutely phenomenal. I'm not going to say they're the best from all the manufacturers because I've not ridden them all, but certainly out of the select few, I've got 7 that I work with, Kawasaki's are the smoothest on the shifted side. I think the initial pickup on the throttle is fueled really nicely. By that, there's not like massive jerking which is pushing me back as I'm going through this kind of slow speed traffic in town. Slow speed handling, it handles really nicely. It's when you're going a little bit faster, it really does nice. It really does drop nicely when you're going a little bit faster, but slow speed, city, town kind of traffic riding, you ain't going to have any dramas with this. I am noticing though, on the faster back roads, 60 miles an hour, there is some vibrations, some high-pitched vibrations coming through the pegs and the handlebars. So that would be something to note. If you were looking at doing some form of touring on this, you might need to get some weighted bar and mirrors, at least to try and dampen some of the vibrations coming through the handlebars. Let's move on to the electronics on this machine then. Starting at the front, we have got LEDs all round. It's kind of something you come to expect nowadays. We have got a fairly small, quite old looking TFT screen. I think it's probably going to be about a 5-inch, certainly not the biggest. It's clear, like, there's no dramas reading it, like, all the information is there you need. It's just A, not the biggest, and B, on a bike like this that is designed to smash out some miles on the touring side, I'd like some extra sat-nav capability. This does have smartphone connectivity. Me personally, I don't like the whole turn-by-turn navigation. As you can tell by the handlebars, because these have got clip-ons, there's very little space to mount any extra sat-navs or your phone onto it. They have got this SP mount. My phone doesn't fit in it because it's got a quad lock case on there. For something that's meant to be touring orientated, having somewhere to put a sat-nav would be handy. We do have a 12-volt socket on the front left-hand side, which means you can power your phone or your sat-nav if you find somewhere to put it. I've mentioned it's got a quick shifter. We do have cruise control as well, something that's always nice to see on a bike that is designed for touring. I'm going to apologise now if there's a lot of wind. The screen is in the uppermost position, and I'm still getting bashed. My basic riding position, the wind is it's hitting me in line with my chin, kind of my nose area, so that means my whole helmet is getting battered by wind. The screen is adjustable. Once again, one of my personal pet hates is this is a two-handed adjustment required. So under the screen on the right hand side, all the way down there, there's a little button. You need to push that button and then you can move the screen. Potentially down, it might just fall down. Yeah, so you can push it and it will fall down, but to go up you need 2 hands, so you're gonna have to either pull over and do it or put on cruise control to get it into the uppermost position. In its lowest position there, I can notice there's a significant difference in the wind turbulence, because the wind is now kind of evenly spread from my chest up. There's not as the buffeting turbulence on the helmet. This bike does come with 4 rider modes as well, so you're going to have rain, road, sport and rider. So adjust them, you've got your mode buttons on the left hand side. Sport is at the top, then road, then rain and then rider, and then you have to push and hold for a good couple of seconds for it to change through. When you get to sport, you can't then keep pushing up, it won't like kind of loop round. You then have to push down all the way to rider. Rider is where you can use the Kawasaki Rideology app to change some of the parameters, i.e. like throttle response, traction control, etc. When you are changing it, I know there are 3 different traction control levels. You've got 1 which is going to give you the most kind of amount of play when you're riding, 2's in the middle, and then 3 is kind of your rain wet riding style. Being that sports tourer, you are still quite bent over. My top half, there is a bit of lean and there is a little bit of weight on the wrists. What that also is going to aid in is going to be taking the kind of weight off your bum, because on the bikes where you're sat upright, it means all your weight is kind of going through onto the seat, which then means your bum tends to get numb or you get hot spots quicker. Sports bikes, you don't really find it because you're proper bent over like this, but then your neck, your back and your wrists take an absolute battering. So this sports tourer style position, it's kind of that mediocre kind of happy ground where, yeah, lean over forward slightly, a little bit of weight on the wrists, but actually that means I can then take some of the pressure off my bum. Pegs are kind of in between my hip and my knees, so they are in a kind of natural, comfortable riding position. Any further back and I think there'll be a bit of pressure on my knees, so I'm happy where they are. Another nice added feature Kawasaki have put into this touring bike: heated grips. I don't care who you are, having heated grips in the winter is bloody delightful. Handlebars, like I said, they are clip-ons, pretty simple. Right hand side, kill switch, starter switch. Left hand side, that's where all the meat of the buttons are. High beam, low beam, rider modes, cruise control, indicators, horn, hazards, and then heated grip button. Because this engine is so smooth, but yeah, it's still got a fair amount of brake horsepower to it, you can kind of be a little bit lazy with the gears. And by that I mean on those bikes where you are absolutely working that gearbox, trying to find and continue to have the bike in the sweet spot. KTM GT, for me that sweet spot was 3rd, 4th gear in the back roads. This, you could be in the wrong gear and there'll still be enough pull to get you through and kind of not make you feel like an idiot. The perks of the inline 4. So like here I'm in 4th gear, low 20s, and it's not juddering, it's not shaking around, it's not telling me I'm in the wrong gear. Other bikes I'm like just going to put it out there now. Brakes and suspension. The brakes, I don't know whether it's this demo bike and they've not really been bedded in properly, or they've not been bedded in enough, but the brakes on this are pretty weak. I'm talking to the point where I don't have a whole lot of confidence in them. Me, I like strong brakes, I like being able to do one finger braking, but this, like, there's a lot of pull for not much movement. So yeah, I'd be looking at the brakes and potentially changing them over something a little bit stronger, as in the brake pads. Each their own though, some people might like this kind of more gentle, progressive braking. I know Zoe definitely likes it compared to me. I like Super Duke R, Super Duke GT, those brakes are probably some of the strongest stock brakes I've tested in a long time. That's the kind of braking I like, one finger and you're doing endos. This SX braking would probably suit Zoe to a T. Woo, get back. Today it's 18 degrees. I know someone's asked me before kind of any heat issues. I've done back roads and I've done towns. So far no issues whatsoever. If I don't say anything by the end of this video, then take it it's not popped up in my mind. But so far so good. I've said the brakes are a bit shoddy for me. Suspension 41mm inverted forks at the front, and then we have got a adjusted rear shock on the side. Suspension at the front, rebound dampening could be adjusted, but I'm not finding any issues. I'm 115 kilos, so I am on the heavy side for stock suspension, but so far on the roads that I've been covering, no issues whatsoever. And the handling, I said slow speed manoeuvrability is good. I think the handling on this is when you start getting a little bit faster, that's where it kind of really shows its Kawasaki presence. Right now for me, my biggest gripe is the wind turbulence. Screen up, screen down, doesn't matter. I am getting battered. I would not enjoy doing a long journey today on this bike. Like, it's got a big screen, it's got the adjustability, it's quite far in front, so you think it'd be nice and pushing it up over me? Nah. So I think that I remember this from last time when I said about the brakes. I said they're very progressive, they're gentle brakes for the initial bite and the initial pickup. If you're getting 2 fingers or more to like, you need to stop, it stops really well. But I'm not always braking like that. Most of the time I'm just gently on the brakes, and that 1 finger initial pickup is just not enough for me. In an emergency of where I need to stop, yeah, these brakes will do it. I still don't like them. The 1000SX has 4 different model lines you can pick. So the base 1000SX is £12,350. Next up is going to be the 1000SX Performance, which is going to set you back £13,500 there or thereabouts. You've then got the 1000SX Tourer, which is also about 13.5. Or finishing you off, number 4, it's going to be 1000SX Performance Tourer Edition. That's going to be about £14,500, which is what this model is. Don't forget that later on when we're walking around and I'm showing you the extra goodies. This is the top model line in the 1000SX. Might as well take the opportunity whilst we're here. Seat height 835. I am at 6'1", both feet flat on the floor, and kind of a nice comfortable bend in the knees as well. This bike is not light, coming in at 235 kilos, but like I said, with the handle in, you do not feel that weight whatsoever. It just flicks lovely side to side. Oh, flickability, oh yes. And with this large 19-litre fuel tank, you are going to get plenty of miles. I'd put it out there and say probably over 200 miles to a tank. From the range I was seeing after I put in a couple of quid this morning. This bike is that natural progression for the older gentleman from a sports bike onto something else when they want to keep refusing the adventure bikes. This is where this market is aimed at. Me, obviously I blew out the sports tourer. Wow, I got the KTM GT, and that is a sports tourer, but it broke, so I swapped it for a BMW GSA. So I've kind of missed my sports touring phase and just went straight to old man phase. It's a fun engine, it definitely is. Definitely keep you interested for a while. You won't be wanting to progress onto other stuff just yet, i.e. the Versus 1000. Here we are then, let's have a little look at this bike. Not only does this bike come with 4 different model options, but they're on 2 different colours. This is the green. I love the kind of flakes that you can see in the paintwork. Pictures probably won't do it justice. You have to see it in person and in the sun. Or the other option is like a black and red. Me personally, the green one is the best. With the Performance Tourer Edition, some of the extra features you're going to get a tinted windscreen at the front. We're going to have our Kawasaki crash bungs left and right of the engine. More importantly though, we are going to have this Acura official can with the Ninja 1000SX sticker. Just let you know it's for this bike. We've got this luggage setup, pretty good. Seat cowl as well. The luggage is just key operated, pop it up. And there you go, plenty of space inside there. You can also get Kawasaki insert bags, so you can grab them when you pull up to your hotel or whatever. What I do like for the pannier system that Kawasaki have designed is it's got the kind of integrated luggage system. So you take the bags off and that's it, there's no extra kind of racking. So all the mounting points are on the bike already, so it just kind of looks nice and sleek when there are no bags on it. Let's do a sound test. that's enough walking around. It's getting too hot to be stationary wearing these Kevlar jeans. Let's get back on the road and I'll give you my final thoughts and opinions. You will notice when riding with the luggage that they rattle around a lot. Obviously plastic luggage on metal fixings, they do kind of bump and rattle. I've been told that Kawasaki either provide or you can get from them kind of like rubber grommets that fit inside just to tighten it up a little bit to stop that rattling. So what is my final thoughts and opinions on the Kawasaki 1000SX for 2023? Engine, gearbox, quick shifter, smooth as you like, everything that you would expect from the Kawasaki engine. It is comfortable, it's in that semi-aggressive kind of bent over, let's go get it stance, but actually you're not all the way leant over, you're not all the way sat upright. The engine is lively enough and peppy enough to kind of keep you interested. And not only that, I think the price range for the top line, so the Performance Tourer Edition, £14,500, that's not bad when you start looking at other sports tourer kind of top of the line bikes. KTM GT with luggage, you're talking about 21 grand. You can afford to cover your ferry crossings to Europe for a couple of years with the extra change left over from that. Is the performance side needed? Maybe not. So if you wanted to save yourself a couple of quid and you're not worried about the exhaust, etc., and you just want the luggage, you're talking say 13.3, about that, 13.3, 13.5 for a decent bike with luggage option. I like it. As I mentioned, my biggest gripe is not having the extra capability for phone mount or sat nav. Something for me that kind of needs to be visible when you are touring. I don't like the vibes that you do get of the higher speeds with the handlebars or the pegs and sometimes the seat. That's something I'd have to try and sort out and negate if I was buying this bike. Absolutely hate the windscreen. Doesn't matter whether it's up or down, wind turbulence is absolutely hideous on this thing. So end of the day, would I buy this bike? Yes, if I could sort out those issues. Brake pads, yeah, no dramas, easy fix. Windscreen, I'd have to have a look, see if there's like a double bubble screen or anything, something to really get rid of the wind turbulence. So the vibrations are going to be your biggest question of can you get rid of them. And that is what I mean about the engine keeping things lively. It isn't slow. She definitely gets up and goes when she wants to. End of the day though, it's not whether I like the bike or not, it's whether you guys do. Best thing I'm going to do is go and book a demo. I'm going to go and drop this off and enjoy the rest of my bank holiday. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure you like it, drop a comment below. Where would you take this bike? Where would be your first adventure on this? More importantly though, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We have got videos coming out weekly. That's enough waffling for me. You're going to enjoy the rest of your day. Till the next one, ride safe.